Hello students, today we are going to study the 8th chapter of economics. The name of the chapter is Poverty in India. Right students, what is poverty? In my previous videos also I have shared in standard 11th you are studying Indian economics. Okay, so what we are going to study, poverty in India. What is poverty? Let us understand the meaning of poverty. Poverty is a situation. Remember this point properly. Poverty is not a person. You cannot tell that this person is a poverty. You are telling that this person is a poor person, and the situation in which that person is staying, that situation is known as poverty. Alright students, so what is poverty? Poverty is a situation. This word is important. Poverty is a situation where a person is not able, what he is not able to satisfy matlab to fulfill, satisfy the basic needs of life. What are the three basic needs of life? Such as food, clothing and shelter. A person is not able to satisfy these three basic needs of life, that is food, clothing and shelter. Why? Due to insufficient income, due to less income. Income matlab the amount which is earned. He is not able to earn so much, so he is not able to satisfy the basic needs of life, that is food, clothing and shelter, and hence that person is staying under a situation, and that situation is known as a poverty. Alright students, everybody knows poverty means garibi. Everybody knows. Okay, now just try to understand this proper meaning. A person is not able to satisfy food, clothing and shelter. What does it mean? A person is not able to satisfy food, clothing and shelter means unlike other people, he is not getting the things in sufficient quantity. It does not mean if I am a poor person, if I am suffering from poverty, it does not mean I am not having food. I have food, but not 3 times in a day. It is not that I don't have a shelter. I have shelter, but I stay in a hut. I stay on skywalks. I stay on the stations. It is not that I don't have clothes. I have clothes, but only one pair of clothes are there. Are you able to understand this point? So such a situation where a person is not able to satisfy the basic needs of life. What are the basic needs? Food, clothing and shelter. That situation is known as poverty. And why he is not able to satisfy? Because of insufficient income. Alright students, two concepts we will try to study of poverty. Two concepts are there of poverty. One is absolute poverty and the second one is relative poverty. One is absolute poverty and the second one is relative poverty. So what is the meaning of absolute poverty? The poverty which is counted or measured in the terms of minimum subsistence. I repeat, the poverty which is measured not in the terms of income, not in the terms of money, but in the terms of how much food calories you consume. Student, measurement of food is done in the terms of calories, right? What is the weight of this person? Kilogram. What is the height of this person? Inches. Right students? Similarly, how we are measuring the intake of the food? Not like this, he had 4 chapatis, he had 1 bowl of rice, not like that. It is counted in the terms of calories. Right students? So what is absolute poverty? Absolute poverty means when a person is not getting the minimum subsistence, means a person is not able to intake the minimum calories per day. Sir, what are the minimum calories that we should consume per day? As per the survey, as per the National Sample Survey Organization, Indian who is staying in the rural area, village area, he should consume 2400 calories per day. An Indian who is staying in the urban area, city area, that person should consume 2100 calories per day. if you are not consuming these calories, if you are intaking the food less than these calories, matlab even though you have lots of money, then also you are suffering from absolute poverty. Alright, students, for example, a person is having lots of money, but because of some disease, he is not able to intake the minimum calories. He is not able to intake 2400 and 2100 calories. So that person is told to be suffering from absolute poverty. Please underline this point, students. Absolute poverty has nothing to do with income. Absolute poverty has to do with the minimum intake of the food. Right, students? And what are the limits? 2400 for the rural area, 2100 for the urban area. Sir, why this discrimination is there? Because in the urban area, you have to do more physical work. Agriculture sector is more. And in the urban area, the physical work is less. Okay, so rural area mein calories are more, and in the urban areas the calories are less. For an average Indian, if you take out an average, for an average Indian, 2250 calories are to be consumed per day. Alright, students? Okay, so the absolute poverty related with minimum subsistence, minimum intake of the food. Khana. Now, second one is relative poverty. Relative poverty exists in all the countries of the world. All the countries, whether it can be a developed country, a developing country, or underdeveloped country, in all the countries of the world, we are able to see relative poverty, the poverty which is measured with the help of income of a person. Relative poverty may we don't take the minimum subsistence, we don't take the food income, we don't take the food intake. Barabar? In the relative poverty, we take minimum income. So the poverty is measured in the terms of minimum income. Means if a person is not having proper income, so that person is told to be suffering from relative poverty. Matlab the real meaning of poverty is related with relative poverty, not with absolute poverty. Right, students? So here it is minimum subsistence, here it is minimum income. Related with food, related with money. ये food से जुड़ा, ये money से जुड़ा हुआ. Getting the students concept properly? दोनों का concept. Now one thing more important है, you are having a poverty line. What you are having, students? Poverty line is there. What is poverty line? Imaginary line which is dividing the population into three parts. Imaginary line, we are not able to see that. It is being just created to divide the population into three parts. What are the three parts? See this poverty line, imaginary line. What are the three parts of poverty? It is on poverty line, above poverty line, and below poverty line. Right, students? What is on poverty line? The people are only able to satisfy the basic needs. They cannot enjoy the luxury. Who are below poverty line, they are not able to satisfy the basic needs of life. And who are above poverty line, they are able to satisfy the basic needs also, and they are able to enjoy the luxuries and comforts also. Right, students? So poverty line is dividing the Indian population into three parts: on poverty line, above the poverty line, and below the poverty line. Okay, students, imaginary line hai. Now we will study two related questions. The first question is causes of poverty. What are the reasons of poverty? And the related question is government measures to eradicate poverty. See, students, if it is a socio-economic, right, students, poverty is a socio-economic problem. Why socio? Because it is related with the society. And economic means what, students? It is related with the money. So it is a socio-economic problem. Alright, students, and if it is a socio-economic problem, then government has to take some measures to reduce the thing or to eradicate the thing. या तो उसको खत्म करो या तो कम करो. Okay, students. So first we will try to understand the causes of poverty. After listening to the previous videos, unemployment was there, population was there. The chapter of poverty becomes very easy to understand. See this point, students. See the causes of poverty. First causes means reasons of poverty in our country. The first reason is population explosion. What is population explosion? That Indian population was growing rapidly from the year 1951. And if the population is increasing, there are no sufficient resources. There are no sufficient resources to satisfy their food. Because what is happening? The population is increasing, but the food supply is not increasing in the same percentage. Right, students? So population explosion is the one cause of poverty. What is the second cause? Same, unemployment. What is unemployment? Where a person is able to work, willing to work, but not getting a job. And if a person is not getting a job, the person will not get any type of income. And if there is no income, then no satisfaction of food, clothing and shelter. Right, students? Economic inequalities are there. Economic matlab related with money. And what is inequalities? Inequalities means different. You will agree with this point. In our country, the distribution of income and wealth is different. You are having a different wealth. I am having a different wealth. Other person may be having a different wealth. Agree with this point, students? You have a different income. I am having a good qualification. I am on a good post. So my income is more. You are on a less post, inferior post. Your education is less. So you may be having less income. Right, students? So you may be agreeing with this point. In India, every person is not having the same income and same wealth. There is inequalities. Inequalities means different. Right, students? And if income and wealth are different, then poverty will exist in our country. Slow economic growth. Industries, they are not flourishing. Agriculture is dependent upon the monsoon. Monsoon is favorable, then everything is going to be going good. Right, students? So what is happening in India? See the concept. The economic growth is very, very slow. And if the economic growth is very, very slow, then industries and agriculture cannot generate more employment. Right, students? So slow economic growth is also a reason of poverty in our country. And last one is nothing but disasters. Everybody knows disasters. The calamities which are created by the nature. A person is there, he is having a well furnished house and everything is good. But suddenly flood comes. And the coming flood is washing away all his assets. So what is going to happen, students? It may lead to poverty. You may have an earthquake. If a sudden earthquake is there, then it is quite possible that there may be a loss and damage of the property. So disasters also leads to poverty. Right, students? So these are some of the causes of poverty in India. Population explosion, unemployment, unequal distribution of income and wealth, economic growth is very slow, and the last one is disaster. Problems are created by nature. Now what the government measures, what government of India did to eradicate poverty, हटाने के लिए क्या किया? Number one, population control. The Indian government saw, we have discussed in the previous video also, the Indian government saw that there was population explosion in our country. That is why they started family welfare program. They started family planning, if you remember, Hum Do Hamare Do. They started the population policy 2000. Many things were started by the government. So if population is being reduced, then the available resource can be distributed among the available population. So population control. In 1948, immediately 1 year after independence, Minimum Wages Act was started in our country. What is Minimum Wages Act? One worker should get sufficient wages to purchase food, clothing and shelter. And this act was revised, changed periodically from 1948 till the year 2020. It was being revised periodically. Okay, as the inflation increases, it has to be revised. Because in 1948, the minimum wages were 10 rupees per day. But the same thing cannot be continued in the year 2020. So it was revised, and the basic target was workers should get sufficient income to satisfy food, clothing, and shelter. Then the Indian government started PDS. Everybody is aware with PDS, Public Distribution System, popularly known as Ration Ki Dukan. Right, students? PDS was started in every area. The Indian government has started PDS. And what was the main purpose of starting the PDS? Okay, the Indian population, you know the colors of ration card are there. Yellow color is there, saffron color is there, white color ration card is there, which indicates the high income group people. Okay, so you are showing that ration card. If that yellow ration card or the saffron ration card is being shown in the public distribution scheme in the ration shops, then they are giving you food at a subsidized price. Subsidized मतलब less than the market price. सस्ते दामों में they give you, I think, rice, they give you wheat, they give you sugar, dal, cooking oil, kerosene. These are the basic things that they provide, so that Indian population should be getting food properly at a low prices. Okay, so BDS was started. Next, government started the nationalization of the banks. Banks were being nationalized. Nationalized means they were being brought under the government control. So what has it has to do with the poverty? Nationalized banks were giving the loans to the poor people at a very low rate of interest. Before 1969, this happened in the year 1969. Nationalization of the banks. What happened before 1969? The poor people used to get the loans from the money lenders, from the sahukars, but they were getting it at a very high rate of interest. So Indian government started the nationalization of the banks so that poor people can get the loans at a low rate of interest. They can start their business, they can do something, and they can overcome their problem of poverty. Right, students? And last one, everybody knows the government started health and education, giving the facility of health and education. Health and education means what? Government started government hospitals where the poor people are treated at a very low price. They have to pay very low fees. And education also, the government has started free education for girls. The government has started government schools, colleges where the students are getting education at a very low fees. So they can get education, they can get good job, and they can fight against poverty. Alright, students, so in this video, I have tried to cover the chapter of poverty. What is poverty? Everybody has understood. It is a very common funda, a very common thing. Alright, students, thank you.